Hello, welcome. My name is Bong Henry, and I am so excited you're here. I help women who want to go from feeling held back and frustrated and leakage when you go on a morning run to find instead freedom and confidence in your body as you hear the sound of the wind in your ears and when you're having fun running with your friends on the trail. I do this amazing work at Radiance PT in Durham, North Carolina. And I am also a mom of three amazing kids, my little chocolate chips, as I love to call them. I love to run, and I also do CrossFit. I have over a decade of experience helping people overcome life changing injuries so that they can get back to connecting with their loved ones. And I'm so excited to be doing this free training today on Facebook. The topic today is how to avoid pelvic pain during pregnancy, and I'm going to bust the three common myths that hold women back from feeling happy and being active during their pregnancies. And you may not actually know this, but more than 50% of women experience pelvic pain in their pregnancies. For some people, this can be really debilitating. You might be missing work, you can't sleep, and you're kind of stuck, not knowing what to do. With urine leakage, this is a problem for up to 50% of women who exercise. And this could look like running after your kids, trying to do jumping jacks and boot camp, leaking when you're trying to pick up your toddler who wants to play with you, soaking your pants whenever you try to run. Maybe you're having to pack a change of clothes. This is actually a problem for so many people who haven't not even had a baby. And for some, it can be really isolating and embarrassing. And you miss out on opportunities to connect with your friends because you're always looking for a bathroom. Or maybe you're missing a workout class because you're leaving 3 times to go to the bathroom. And if you are dealing with that, I want you to know that you are absolutely not alone and you're not doing anything wrong. The great news is that you can get help. And putting on your own life mask, getting help and taking care of your mental health and your physical health during pregnancy is one of the best things you can do for you and your baby. So if you're watching this live, I want you to drop live in the comments. And if you're on the replay, drop replay if you're catching up later. I do hope you have your notebooks and a pen because this stuff is awesome. And this is actually a good time to go get something to write with or open up the notes section on your phone or your computer. As I mentioned, I'm in North Carolina and we've had some really peculiar weather here. It was just a couple weeks ago that it was below freezing. Our power went out on Christmas Eve and now it's balmy. I went for a run with a tank top the other day. Craziness. And I know some of you might be wondering how someone ends up talking about vaginas and pregnancies on a Thursday morning. I know a lot of you are really curious about that. And I also get this question all the time. How do I do it? With 3 young kids, run, I just did a half marathon. How do I have fun and do things for myself? And so my story starts when I was a first time mom. We moved from Charleston to Nashville when I was 36 weeks pregnant. As you can imagine, the timing was not ideal, but that was the circumstance we were in. And so I was able to be active during my pregnancy. I worked out. I also spent a lot of time looking up best cloth diapers. I was on Pinterest trying to find like minimalist nursery decor. I was reading all the sleep books. And if you can relate to reading all the sleep books to prepare during pregnancy, drop a me in the chat. My colleagues told me, don't worry about running, you'll just bounce back. I had a colleague who would leak when she ran during her pregnancies. She said she just put a pad on and just run. And I thought to myself, I don't have that problem. I guess I'm fine. And I figured I could do it. I love to be independent. If you like to be independent and you can relate to that, drop it independent in the chat. So, well, right after I had my sweet baby, I signed up for a half marathon. So the race would have been when I was about 9 months postpartum. And this is what you do when you've done a lot of them before. I had done so many, and everybody was saying my body would remember what to do. So, but meanwhile, I had a crazy commute for my new job. My husband was working insane hours. I was also trying to figure out how to pump at my workplace. If you're a working mom and you can relate to pumping drama, drop a pump in the chat. I had this one situation where I was pumping with my back to a door, so someone didn't barge into the break room by accident. Ask me how I know. Well, the biggest thing was that being a new mom took a lot out of me. I was exhausted. I even reached out for help, and I got dismissed by a provider who said, "This is just part of the process." And as a good little PT that I was, I did what I knew. I didn't miss my long runs. I did the strength work and drop a muscles in the chat if you can relate to doing strength training for an endurance race. And so let's fast forward. We get to the Nashville Rock and Roll Half Marathon. It's a beautiful hilly course. It starts downtown Nashville and it goes around the city. And naturally, around that time, my baby hit a 8 to 9 month sleep regression. So I didn't sleep much of the race, that week of the race. But I was so excited. I had butterflies in my belly. I was so ready to prove to myself that I could do this. So here we are. I'm plugging along on my walk run intervals and enjoying the music. There's bands along the way. And at mile 10, it happened. I felt like I was splitting in half. I was having pelvic pain right above my waist. I could barely walk. It was so horrible. And y'all, I prepared for so many things, but I was not prepared for this. I was scared and worried that something was seriously wrong with me. And you know how they have those golf carts or emergency vehicles or personnel to help get injured people off of race courses? I refused to get on it. I was stubborn. Eventually, I made it to the finish line, although I was hobbling. I met up with my husband and our baby, and we got back to our apartment. He took the baby inside, and he came and carried me upstairs to our second floor apartment because I couldn't walk. And I was a mess. Eventually, I could get out of bed and walk, and I made it to work on Monday, but I knew something had to change. So I got help from one of the smartest PTs I knew. I was about 75% better, but I had this really annoying butt pain, like right in my left back pocket area. I was really annoyed and frustrated and wondering, like, when am I going to feel like myself again? And then I met this amazing colleague who told me she could help me with that butt pain, and my life was changed. I felt my confidence coming back. I was happy in my body. I was running, no pain. I may have had 99 problems, but butt pain was not one. Part of what I had to do was ask for help. I had to schedule time for myself. I had to prioritize actually showing up on time for an appointment. And sometimes this was actually on my days off when my daughter was with me. I had to tell my team leader that sometimes I would be in a little late because I had an appointment for myself. I had to prioritize sleep, going to bed early. I really had to streamline my life. And spoiler alert, I didn't know what I didn't know. And nobody knows what you're doing when you first have a kid. You've never done it before. And if you can relate to this, or if you've gone through this before, you are definitely not alone and you're not doing anything wrong. We live in a world that tells us you need to have a color-coded, custom-themed West Elm nursery completed before you hit 20 weeks, and that you should really ignore the transition into becoming a parent because it's back to business as usual at 6 weeks, maybe 12 weeks if you're lucky. And this world tells us you also have to ask your doctor's permission before you get help for your pain, and that you should be that super mom trying to do everything on your own. And the problem is, it drives us to isolation. And when you're trying to do everything on your own, it really adds fuel to the fire. And you and I both know that doing everything on your own leads to burnout. And when we're struggling in this way, we deny your birthright as a human because we are wired for community when it comes to having babies. and what I was missing was support. So fast forward, I made some changes. I did another half marathon 9 months later. I crushed it. And some of you may know my friend Justin Timberlake. He lives in Nashville. And so, like, sidebar, he's really not my friend, but I did sign up for that second race in Nashville because he lived in that town. And I just figured I might run past his rhinestone bejeweled mansion. I didn't, but it was a fun race and it was so much fun. And when I was at work, I began to see the stories of my patients with more clarity. I saw how connected birth injury was later on to back pain and hip pain in life. And when I worked with the elderly population, I'd ask them, how long had you been leaking or constipated? And the women would say, oh, since the 70s. And I'm like, what happened in the 70s? And they're like, oh, that's when I had my children. And I saw a window of time to help moms recover when they're young and when they're motivated to stay active and not just wait so you're worried about losing your independence or staying out of a nursing home. Y'all, you can build muscle at any age, but really now is the time. And it's really building resilience and foundation and creating sustainable habits that are going to last you through decades to come. Because hormonal transitions like pregnancy and perimenopause, menopause, that is a real thing. And the more resilient your mind and your body is as you go through these transitions, the happier you're going to be on the other side. So, my second kid, I prioritized my recovery and building my foundations before getting in shape and signing up for a race. Part of this involved investing in a postpartum doula when I was 2 weeks postpartum and up every hour with a baby who had a reflux, breastfeeding issues, and had a tongue tie revision. And if you've had a baby with reflux or feeding issues, drop a give me sleep in the chat because that struggle is real. And y'all, with my third kid, I have cracked the code. I have made really simple changes in my life and wrapped myself in an incredible support system. My third pregnancy in a pandemic, I was able to run and do CrossFit. I had fun chasing after my then 3-year-old doing kamikaze stuff on his balance bike. I learned how to listen to my body and recognize what it was telling me. These simple changes really helped me to eliminate burnout. I wake up well rested as a mom of 3 young kids. I celebrated my 4th half marathon since becoming a parent this past December, which is my 7th half marathon in total. I have a blast crushing box jumps and hitting PRs with my friends in CrossFit. And I have a good time dancing to Kids Bop, and playing with my kids after a busy day. And this is absolutely, totally available to you. And this is why I'm so passionate about helping women who are wanting to go from being worried about the lack of control in your pregnant body to instead empowered and confident so you can navigate those changes and bravely prepare for birth and welcome your sweet baby into your arms, to your heart. So what I'm teaching you today, you're gonna wanna learn more. And I really hope you did take the time to get your notebook. This is what I do to help people all day long. So we're gonna talk about how you're gonna go from confused about the changes that you've heard were normal in the pregnant body when you're told by medical providers that there's nothing to do about your pain to being confident and trusting that your body was made to do this. You're gonna go from being really confused about what you've seen on TikTok or Instagram about exercising and abs during pregnancy to learn how to kick it in the gym without missing a beat. And you're gonna go from feeling overwhelmed with a million things to do to having peace of mind in your body so you can cruise through your 4th trimester, enjoy your newborn snuggles, and trust your body's ability to heal. And y'all, this is generalized information because I haven't assessed you. I'm not your doctor. Everybody's journey to get pregnant, being pregnant, birth, and postpartum is different. And the truth is, healing is not a one-size-fits-all process. But I will let you know at the end about how you can stay connected with me. All right, so getting into those 3 common myths that hold women back from enjoying your body during pregnancy. The first myth is that back pain and pelvic pain and pregnancy is something you just have to deal with because of hormones. And if you have heard that one before, drop hormones in the chat. And this might look like being told to deal with annoying back pain or pelvic pain when you're trying to get out of bed, or maybe you're feeling like the Tin Man when you're trying to get out of the car. And if you're living through this, you're not doing anything wrong. You are absolutely not alone. The truth is, your body was made to adapt to pregnancies and birth babies. It's not true that nothing can be done about pain during pregnancy. Unless you've had a recent direct trauma to your pelvis is very stable. The hormones, the most popular one everybody likes to talk about, relaxin, that can contribute to increased sensitivity. And your pain during pregnancy is real. Getting help for this pain during pregnancy, or if you've had a history of persistent pain before pregnancy, can help build resilience in your body, which is helpful during labor. Another one of my rock star clients had on and off chronic back pain for about 10 years. And we started working together after her back was going out after a pregnancy loss. And she went from scared to being scared to bend over and scared of exercise to having a consistent morning routine. She did her P90X before she went to work. She got pregnant and she's had a really comfortable pregnancy where she's exercising, having quality sleep, and she's eagerly awaiting welcoming her sweet baby into her arms in the coming weeks. Our second myth we're going to bust is the one about diastasis. You may have heard to watch out for doming, but now you have no clue what is happening below your sports bra. And you might be thinking that you have to stop ab exercises because you heard about doming and you're worried about causing a diastasis. If you've heard that one before, drop a 6-pack in the chat. And if you're living through this, you are not alone and you're not doing anything wrong. The truth is, diastasis is a body's way of adapting and growing for a human that is growing in your body during pregnancy. Most people have one. It's 100% normal by the time you have the end of your pregnancy. And the truth is, exercising in pregnancy is actually really good for your body. It's really good for diastasis. Our last myth we're going to bust is that you need to do 1,000,000 pelvic floor contractions. They're also known as Kegels. You've heard that you need to do 1,000,000 of these during pregnancies so you can have a strong pelvic floor. And if you've heard that one before, drop a Kegel in the chat. And this might look like trying to do a bunch of pelvic floor squeezes when you're at a traffic light, or maybe you're trying to stop your urine flow whenever you go to pee on the toilet. And if you're living through this or doing this at all, you're not doing anything wrong. You're not alone. The truth is, your pelvic floor does not work by itself. It's not a one-trick pony. It is just the piece of the puzzle. We want a pelvic floor to be coordinated so you don't leak when you sneeze, or you don't leak when you're running or coughing. It needs to be flexible so you can pee and poop, and it needs to be really flexible to tolerate the stretch of a human coming out of your vagina. And here's the thing. So many people focus on what's going on between your legs when it comes to a vaginal birth and pregnancy, but the truth is, what's going on between your ears, your mindset is so important. Having healthy, sustainable lifestyle habits go a long way for a happy pelvic floor, whether you're trying to conceive, you're in a pregnancy, your goal is a vaginal birth, or you're on the other side of that. And some of those things include prioritizing quality sleep, taking care of your stress and your emotions, having regular exercise, eating fruits and vegetables. So if you were struggling with pelvic pain or leakage, you are not alone. You're not doing anything wrong. And if you've been told to just deal with it, the truth is you don't have to live with pain and leakage. Healing is possible and you are absolutely worth it. My clients and I are not magical unicorns. They don't have anything that you don't have. This can be you. You can be energized, find freedom from the bathrooms, and have a great time enjoying your best life now in your body. And each of you is probably thinking, wow, this stuff is really valuable. I want more. How do I apply this to my life? So I shared earlier that I let you know how to stay connected with me, and I have a free gift for you. It's a free gift for taking time out of your busy day and your busy schedule to learn today. I'm going to put a link in the chat for your free guide. This is a mama's guide on how to pee and poop like a pro. This is for you if you want to have the best toilet time of your life so you can go on a 30-minute run and enjoy the sound of the wind singing in your ears without worrying about your bladder. This is for you if you are pregnant or just had a baby. And this is also for you if you spend too much time on the toilet than you care for. All right, okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned so much. And thank you for being here live or watching the replay and being committed to enjoying your body during pregnancy and having fun in motherhood. Have a great day.